guys, welcome back. In today's video we're covering two highly requested items. A lot of those requests came on my Facebook page, and I'll put a link below to my Facebook page if you want to find me there. But today we'll be covering both the Bachmann SD70ACe and Wabash scheme, as you see here, and below there's the Bachmann ES44AC in Southern scheme. Both of these are sound value equipped Bachmann locomotives. That means they've come with DCC and a Soundtraxx decoder that has some limited functions. So these both MSRP for $299 even. So let's take a look at what you get for that price from these two Bachmann products. Let's get started. Now, as of late on my channel, I've been unboxing locomotives for the first time right in front of you. So this is the first time this is coming out of the box, and you'll get to see what you get with this sound value locomotive. There's the locomotive, and we got some paperwork here we will take a look at and set the box aside. So first in the paperwork you've just got, it looks like a DCC manual talking about, it's got DCC on board. It says it's 100% backwards compatible with standard DC. Take out a plug or something. Some notice about decoders being NMRA compliant. 1-year warranty from Bachmann. So that will answer that question. The mail-in for the warranty. I don't know if you guys saw that too well, but it's nothing special. It looks like a catalog. They'll sell you for $11. Flyer for that. And a quick start guide, which will be our guide to going through this locomotive. So let's go ahead and get out of the box and take a closer look here, right here for the first time. Got a hard plastic packaging along with soft plastic inside inserts, and we're going to set it down here. And DCC is already applied, power is already on the track, so hasn't really started up. So we'll go ahead and look at the details and then move on forward with some of the sounds in operation. Quick note about this review before we start: we're going to do half of this whole video will be the Wabash SD70ACe. Second half will be the ES44AC. Let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. Just starting off at the windshield here, you'll see there is no cab camera like on the Athearn units. I'm not sure if the MTH units have that or not, but the Athearn units did. You've got headlights here with the number boards. We'll get into whether those are lit and LEDs later. We've got the windshield wipers here, which are not etched metal, they're plastic, so they're a little thicker than usual. You've got molded on grab irons on the front mixed with separately applied grab irons on the top of the locomotive, and on the back side we'll take a look later, but they also have molded on grab irons. You've got both the ditch lights here, which seem about prototypically correct in size, but we will take a closer look compared to the Athearn unit and point out a few differences there. Again, I don't have time to really go into much detail. Looking at the MU hoses, you don't have any silver tipped ends. You've got a plastic Easy Mate coupler, which is Bachmann's coupler brand, so of course they're going to put that on there. And you've got the handrails, which are a little thicker than prototypically correct. However, they're a little more durable too. A little weak in this area. You've got a chain that connects up here that you can't really see the chain detail on. It is painted silver, which some manufacturers don't paint silver. But you know, a chain's an oval with a hole in the middle basically, and you can't really tell that. It just looks like twisted metal. Alright, let's go ahead and move to the side of the locomotive. One thing I think Bachmann could have done to distinguish themselves was to go ahead and paint these cab windows black, but you know, like a jet black tint, but they didn't really do that. So we're going to just take a closer look at this front of the cab here. You got 1070 NS, which is clear print. The Wabash unit, clear print. The cab windows seem correct. A lot of the dimensions on this locomotive seem correct. Just comparing to the Athearn unit, because I know Athearn did their homework on it, you know, the dimensions aren't out of whack, kind of like the MTH unit had oversized exhaust back here. They don't have that on here. That seems to be correct in size. The smaller print we'll get to later, but you can't really read that under magnification, including this area up here. The handrails are very thick. As you can see, they're not too thick prototypically, they're slightly thick, but it makes them durable and straight. There's no waves or anything. You've got the trucks down here which have pretty good detail, you know, not the best detail, but they do have sanding lines and things like that, so it could be worse, could be better. Fuel tank with some detail down here. The handrails, again, like I said, nice and thick. I'm really, you know, pushing on these and they're staying in place and not really warping or anything. You got the Wabash unit on the side, nicely printed. Looking further back, towards the back, same thing with the thick handrails. We're going to go ahead and flip this around. Thick handrails on the back. I think I just shorted out some track here. But you've got the back here, which has the ditch lights on the back. We'll talk about operation later on those. MU hoses. Again, all the stuff that you'd find, the road numbers and everything. We'll just get into more detail when we have a little time. Flipping it over to this side, you've got a brake wheel which is a little thicker than prototypically accurate. It's durable, but it's definitely thicker than the Athearn units and the MTH units. Fuel tank again with a little sight window. Just going to run by the detail on this side and you guys can pick out what upsets you about this locomotive and what you're happy about with this locomotive. Inside the cab there are no cab figures. It is a one color cab. It's not detailed or anything. There aren't any details in the cab really. There are molded chairs, but that's about it. Molded seats. And on this side you've got another small sticker that I cannot read under magnification when I take a look at that. So we'll take a quick pass of the roof so you can see that and the underbody, and we're going to move on. You don't see any fans, separately applied fans inside the grating or anything. It's all one piece here. There's a lot of reflection going on, I know, but there's no fans on the top. You get the horn, seems to be accurate on size there. Exhaust, which seems to be accurate on size, and the PTC antenna array, or I don't know if that's the correct name of this array or not, but it's the correct antenna array for this locomotive. One thing I will point out when we do some comparison is some of the differences, but right now I want to go ahead and get to operation so you can hear this thing run, so let's get that done. Now I've dimmed the lights so you can see the headlight, especially because the headlight is very dim itself. There are some issues though that we need to talk about. Usually I'm just recording things as we go, but about 20 minutes has transpired since the last cut on this film, because when I started this locomotive up I didn't see ditch lights coming on. So I've ran through every manual I can, every function I can, and I don't see ditch lights operating. I don't see any reference to ditch lights in the quick start guide, so it appears that this locomotive doesn't have ditch lights. Now you can see in the background I took the southern unit out of the box to see if there's some problem with just this unit, but the southern unit is the same thing. There's no ditch lights functioning on that unit as well. Usually I was going to wait to unbox the southern unit, but I wanted to check it out, so I went ahead and unboxed it ahead of time. So with that said, let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to kill one more light, bring up a little light, because this headlight is so dim you're going to need just a very little light to even see it. But here we go. I'm going to apply track power here. Now, it doesn't get dimmer or brighter as it moves. There is an F7 function that does the dimmer. Sounds are similar to Athearn because they have the Tsunami limited decoder in here, or the Soundtraxx limited decoder, I should say. So there's the light, headlight. The number boards aren't lit. Ditch lights don't appear to be lit, but I'm going to go ahead and break this open in part of this review to take a look. Full lights are back on, so we're going to go ahead and listen to the bell and the horn real quick. I'm going to reverse the unit. You can see some speed steps now. On 128 speed steps on my ECOS command system. It doesn't start moving until about 7, 8, 9, 10 speed steps. That's where it starts moving. I don't think there are CVs, so you are able to change certain CVs. I don't know if start and stop voltage is one of those or not. As I move it up, it does have smoother movement once it's going, but to get going is a little slow. It does stop on a dime, so there's not momentum built in. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. So some of the functions listed are the headlight, bell, whistle, short whistle, and F7 is dimmer and F8 is mute. That's all that's listed here on this locomotive in the quick start guide. It talks about being able to support 1428 or 128 speed steps, and it supports Rule 17 operation. The sound is actually pretty good. The horn has a nice bass to it. I was surprised about that, but I'm very disappointed that those ditch lights don't work at all. Let's take one more quick pass of this. Super close, at least just this side, so you can take a look with that 1080p HD. I'm just going to push it along so you don't have to hear. Well, actually, while the sound is off, I'll go ahead and move it so you can hear how quiet it is without the decoder. So that's without the sound on the decoder, and it's not really that quiet. It does have kind of a hum to it, but with the sound it covers it up if you like the sound. So that's that. Now we're going to break into this thing, and then we got to move on to the ES44AC because we are already behind the power curve on time. Okay, we're going to weigh this real quick. You got 18.2 ounces. Just as a comparison, MTH is 24.3 ounces and Athearn is 17.6, so it's in between those two. A little heavier than the Athearn by just a bit, but definitely lighter than the MTH unit. Now we're going to accomplish a quick pull test to see how much it can pull, and we should lock it on here. Okay, and also lets you hear the motor running. We've got 2.6 ounces on the pull. Again, a little less than the MTH. Actually, I think a lot less than the MTH was. MTH was about 3.4, and about the same as Athearn on the pull. So, a little story about a reviewer who tried to disassemble the locomotive for you and realized it was way too complicated to disassemble in a short period of time, so we're going to move on and use that time to compare that to the Athearn model. Athearn model's on the right. This is Erie Lackawanna, just to give you a different scheme, different idea. But you can see right away the details sort of pop out as the differences are very noticeable. One of those is the separately applied grab irons on the Athearn unit. You've got, as you work your way back, you've got clear radiator grill fans here, so you can see the fans down inside. And this back, very back grill fan is metallic, where the Bachmann is more of a plastic look. You can see the windshield wiper thickness difference is just really, you can tell day and night on that. Those are just some examples. You've got below the MU hoses are silver painted tipped ends, LSL indicator lights along the side here, and a lot of the details, including that equipment box there, that are not present on the Bachmann unit here. So things like that are just some of the differences. The back coupler is out because it was stripped. When I removed it, I was like, wow, this came out easy. Well, come to find out it's stripped, so it won't go back in. And you can't really pull anything with this Bachmann locomotive until I fix that problem. So luckily I had already done the pull test on this. So that is just some of the differences. You can see, Athearn's got the see-through grills back here. A lot of the more refined details. So with that said, we need to catch up and move on to the ES44AC, so we'll skip the unboxing and move just straight into some of the details on that. I'm sorry for you ES44AC fans, because this is going to be a lot shorter review on this, but again, same song and dance as last time. You've got molded on grab irons with a mixture of separately applied grab irons up top. You've got some other details that kind of stick out as not very well. A little different from the SD70ACe. You've got the clear windows, the cab interior that's real minimal, no cab figures or anything in there. You've got the antenna array, which is accurate. You've got a nice safety tread on top, which was nicely done. The horn on these locomotives is painted the same color as the body, which is correct. And you've got one thing that is not correct is the exhaust on the back here is silver on the prototype, and this is painted the same color as the body, so they didn't separate that out. One thing that just screams at me is the lack of depth on these three grills here. They don't have any depth. They've got this real metallic, I don't know how to explain it, just a plastic appearance. So they aren't very in-depth at all. But you do have good durable handrails. Again, the truck detail is okay. It's not super great, but they went into some extent on the truck detail. And you've got the thick hand brake wheel again. Most of this is just demonstrating to you the sounds and appearance of this locomotive. As you can see for yourself in the 1080p HD video, the details will jump at you as you see them. And your level of rivet counting, either light, medium, or heavy, is up to you. Again, plastic couplers, metal trip pins, the thicker handrails on the front and back. It's kind of funny because there's safety tread up top on the roof, but there's no safety tread on the walkways on this, and that applies as well to the SD70ACe. So that unit has the same kind of thing going on. So, you know, the Southern paint scheme is nice and clear and has the correct colors and everything. A little bit of handrail trouble here with them popping out, but they're back in. Some fuel tank detail appears to be correct fuel tank angles and stuff like that. But again, a lot of the details missing. And for time, we're not going to compare this to the Intermountain unit. We don't have time to do so. But on the front, some of the details are shallow, like the door, things like that. They don't have the depth that the prototype has. So again, just some of the details differences on this unit. Let's go ahead and fire it up, let it run, weigh it, pull test it, and we'll wrap this review up because we are already behind schedule and it's going really long. Alright, let's weigh the Bachmann ES44AC. 18.1 ounces on that. Just for comparison, the Intermountain ES44AC, 18.3 ounces. So pretty close on the weight compared to the Intermountains. But again, Intermountains are a lot more detailed, but we don't really have time to cover that. Alright, we're going to do a quick pull test on this locomotive. Also get to hear the gear sounds and how it runs. It's 2.2 ounces. Now the Intermountain unit is 2.4 ounces on the pull test, so that gives you a comparison of the Intermountain unit compared to this Bachmann unit. Alright, let's move along. I'm going to go ahead and apply track power here. These headlights are a little brighter than the other headlights. A nice golden white appearance, pretty hard to pick up in this video. I'll try to kill some lights so you can see it. Again, no lit number boards, and I can't seem to get ditch lights working for anything. So there's the golden LED headlight. Go ahead and get lights back on. And we're going to move this thing. Doesn't start moving again until about 7, 8, 9 speed steps, something like that. Horn, whistle, or horn bell, I mean. backwards here. A little bit of a quicker speed. And I'm going to kill the sound so you can actually hear the motor running. You may hear that little bit of a humming noise, kind of a signature of some of the Bachmann locomotives. Anyway, that is about all the details on this one. I really had to run through this quickly in the sake of time, so let's go ahead and wrap this review up and give you some final thoughts on both of these locomotives. So I don't often inject personal opinion in the reviews unless something is blatantly obvious, and in this case it is. For an MSRP of $299 even, I would absolutely never in my life suggest to you to pay that price for these locomotives. Maybe two of them, I paid $159 through model train stuff, $159.99 plus some shipping. I think the total for 2 units was like a little over $340 shipped. Now, when you're getting into that price, maybe we're talking here, but keep in mind, MTH and Athearn both recently had sales where their sound-equipped units were about $159 to $169. So if those sales are still available, I would highly encourage you to choose those manufacturers for these items. And here's the reason why. The sound is the only thing that impressed me, and I was really disappointed in the ditch light thing. Drive is a little disappointing. Functions of the decoder, like I said, the decoder, I think the Tsunami folks did a good job, so that was the only thing that really impressed me, but everything else is just mediocre on this locomotive for the price. Having an MSRP of $299 is too high for this locomotive. It's kind of like pricing, you may have seen that new Kia that they've got for 70 grand, and everybody's like, what? Kia 70 grand? And the only reason I'm making that comparison is because there is a difference in quality. My first line of responsibility is to you guys, not the manufacturers, and I'm not going to let you spend your hard-earned money on something that I think you could get the same other products for or in the ballpark. So the only way I would suggest these locomotives is if you're a huge Bachmann fan, if you're trying to collect all 20 Norfolk Southern Heritage units and you want to discount off all of them and you're able to find them in the 130 range, 120 range or something like that, and those MTH and Athearns are already all sold out at their prices, so you're saving money there in a larger quantity. But other than that, I really wouldn't suggest these locomotives for you. Again, you guys are the viewers. You got to see what you saw. I had a few problems myself, the stripped screw and other things. But you saw everything, you heard everything in the best possible quality available on YouTube. So you can make your own decisions. This is just my personal opinion. Everybody's got different ones. I understand that. Some people will disagree with me. I just want you to know that if you're a new guy and you don't understand, that's my suggestion on this situation. The other reviews I've done with some other products, things were too close to call, so why bother with it? Well guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this review gave you some in-depth on these two locomotives. Again, I wouldn't pay more than about 120 or 130 bucks for this. I think that's about where they're worth. So take it as you can. They've got eBay auctions right now for $275, way too much. You just find the other auctions or try to see the ones that bid up and you'll see what they're worth and what people are paying for them, but it's about $130. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.